Samson, full voiceover script long ago. The people of Israel were suffering under the rule of the Philistines. They had lived under oppression for many years, but God had not forgotten them. One day, an angel of God appeared to the parents of a child who would be called Samson. The angel told them that their son would be specially dedicated to God from birth. His hair must never be cut, because God had a special purpose for his life. Samson was born, and as he grew, the Lord blessed him. He became an incredibly strong man. But his strength was not ordinary. Whenever the Spirit of God came upon him, Samson could do things that no ordinary man could do. One day, Samson was traveling through the countryside when a powerful lion suddenly attacked him. Samson had no sword and no shield. But the Spirit of God came upon him, and with his bare hands, he defeated the lion. News of Samson's incredible strength spread throughout the land. The Philistines feared him because they knew that he could stand against their armies. But Samson had a weakness. Although he was physically strong, he often struggled to control his desires and his decisions. Then Samson met a woman named Delilah. He became deeply attached to her. The rulers of the Philistines saw an opportunity. They secretly promised Delilah a great reward if she could discover the secret of Samson's strength. Delilah repeatedly asked Samson, "Tell me the secret of your strength." At first, Samson refused to tell her the truth. He gave her false answers, and each time she tested him, he escaped. But Delilah continued to pressure him. Day after day, she questioned him until Samson finally became tired of her asking. Eventually, Samson revealed the truth. He told Delilah that his hair had never been cut because he had been dedicated to God from birth. His strength was connected to that sacred promise. Delilah realized that Samson had finally told her the truth. That night, while Samson was sleeping, Delilah called the Philistine soldiers. They came quietly and cut Samson's hair. When Samson woke up, he thought he could fight them as he had done before. But he did not realize that the Lord's strength had departed from him. The Philistines captured Samson. They blinded him and took him away in chains. The mighty man who had once defeated his enemies was now sitting helpless in prison. But Samson's story was not finished. While he was in prison, Samson began to turn his heart back toward God. His hair slowly began to grow again, and his faith began to return. One day, the Philistines gathered together in a huge temple to celebrate their victory over Samson. Thousands of people were there. They laughed at Samson and brought him out so they could mock him. But Samson had one final prayer. He asked God to remember him and give him strength one more time. Then Samson reached out and placed his hands against the great pillars supporting the temple. He prayed for strength. And then he pushed. The pillars began to shake. The building trembled. The roof began to collapse, and the great temple came crashing down. Samson's final act became a powerful reminder of the consequences of his choices, but also of God's mercy and the power of faith. Samson was not a perfect man. He made serious mistakes. He allowed his desires to lead him away from God's purpose. But when he finally turned back to God, he discovered that his story was not over. His life teaches us something important. True strength does not come only from our bodies. True strength comes from God. Sometimes we make mistakes. Sometimes we fall. Sometimes we feel that we have gone too far. But God can still give us another chance. So remember the story of Samson. When you are weak, trust God. When you fall, get back up. And when you feel that your story is finished, remember that God can still have a purpose for your life. Never forget where your strength comes from.